See it.
Okay.
You need intermission music. I'm telling you, I'm gonna have to find me some intermission music. So you guys are wanting me to look for a doorbell sound effect? That's what you want?
Ding dong.
Well, that was the sound that it makes when people join the Zoom feed. Because we were watching ham radio TV last night, the 2-meter anti-net, and you'd hear the ding.
It was fun.
They do kind of a cool little net. Okay, it appears that we're back on again.
We're going to try. Hopefully, 3 is
There we
really
go.
a charm. I do have my little, I think I went the wrong way again. Technical difficulties sign up. We are experiencing some upload issues tonight and apologize for that. Franklin has a great presentation for us, and as soon as I can get into chat. Rodney, are you able to find the live stream?
On YouTube?
Yeah.
I
don't know why it takes so long for my...
Jungle Chasers is live.
Yeah. I don't know why it takes so long.
There it is.
Technical difficulties. Please stand by.
I like it.
Okay.
I'll be careful there. You might get a copyright strike.
Yeah.
Oh, do I need to like make it higher pitched or something? Okay, Franklin, your turn. You say it.
Oh my.
Not that.
Oh boy.
I got sound effects for that. I was gonna have you say we're having technical difficulties.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll go ahead and I'll give it a spin.
All right, take 2.
You're not going to count me in?
Oh.
I'm a professional here. I'm used to a certain standard of quality.
On 3, 2,
But this is
1,
what we were talking
you,
about.
Franklin.
We are currently experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by, and we will be back to our program shortly. And see, that's all you gotta do is give me a count in, and
There.
you know,
No,
like
but
Jack
you
Warner
realize what you
said, I'm one take Frank.
That was not a one take. Did you hear what you said?
I said
Difficulty. Difficulty.
Hey, maybe I did that on purpose to emphasize the difficulties.
Maybe take 236.
Well, if you've ever seen the second season episode of The West Wing where the president's trying to record his weekly Saturday morning radio chat, you'd understand where this is headed.
And it ain't gonna be good.
No, 2 audiences, and then we end up having to do it live on Saturday morning.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I know what it is. We need B.
I made that one.
Need B to say it because his voice is like proper English. So
The British accent is just going to bring everyone.
Are you guys making fun of my voice again?
No, we're not making fun of it. We are praising.
Absolutely not. We're needing a standard, and I think that the English standard is the way to do it. All right, your turn. Go, B.
We're experiencing technical difficulties at this time. Please stand by.
See, it's perfect.
Yeah.
And he was a one taker, Franklin.
Plus, has
One
anyone
and
ever
done.
told you that you have a slight vocal similarity to Daniel Radcliffe?
How do you know? I might be Daniel Radcliffe in disguise.
You could be. You could be. We could have been talking to Harry Potter himself the entire time. I'd
We
never
have
know.
not been seeing your face. You could
Not
be.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh yeah, there's Rodney's like, yeah, he ain't Daniel Radcliffe, believe me.
Not.
Are we streaming again? Because I'm not getting it here.
I see it. Let
Yeah,
me see if I
it
can hear
is.
it.
It's not loading for me. I have reloaded the page totally. I have.
It took a little bit for me to get it.
Oh God, I sounded like that whenever I said that. God, mind me never do that.
This is classic. You need to record this and keep it as one of our archives. We'll have blooper reels down the road.
It's on there, man. I got it.
Our humblest apologies for not having a live Jungle Chasers live stream this evening.
So,
But enjoy this reel from our Best of series archive.
Best.
what was that guy last night? And he said, when you're talking, you're going out over the radio. And he goes, wow. That was good.
Don't guess I heard that one.
Oh, it was
See,
on
that was like when I was doing the thing on Sunday, and Steve was helping me, and my foot pedal kept messing up.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just like, you know, I was saying something, and it was just padded all over the place, and it's so frustrating.
Oh, so those guys that do that net, and most of them are in the Vacaville Amateur Radio Club.
Okay. California.
They just throw call signs aside, and they go live on the radio. All of them just talk on, and it comes out on 4 or 5 different things, including a linked repeater system, DMR, All-Star. If you can connect an All-Star, you can get into it. It's like, it's amazing, really. But they do a pretty good show, and it's a bunch of ham guys that talk about tech stuff.
Mhm.
And they talked about other stuff last night, like shooting or whatever, you know. But
Off-roading.
yeah.
Interesting.
But I'm looking at Penny. It's like, this is why we went live with these conversations. Because it's fun.
Yeah.
Except when
Okay.
stuff breaks.
Oh, that's when it's the funnest, though.
And we were on Ham Nation. Remember that, Rodney? And remember how broke that was?
And they're the professionals.
They are.
Are you sure?
All I can say, it was so funny when the producer goes, I am so glad I got you guys. I mean, because we were, and it was so funny because Bob was like 3, 2, and boom,
Gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
Gone.
oh boy.
Man. That
I'm
was a
sure
night.
he thought you were messing with him.
Oh no, it was funny because it was like, you know, but it was cool because, you know, the producer knew what he was doing, and he came back and he's like, oh, I'm so glad I got you guys, because I mean, he literally had us within 3 seconds of Bob introducing us, and
Yeah.
we were on. And if you guys watch the video, you can hear me go, can they hear us? And I'm just like, you could hear my voice say that just before. Oh, by the way, we got Southwest Missouri Amateur Radio Club here tonight. And I'm just like, oh man, that was bad.
And then it was gone.
Hey, as they used to say in the day, it's live TV.
There you go. That's how you
There we go.
Tied up in videotape.
Yeah, I hate to tell you that tape stuff is supposed to be inside the plastic case thing, not outside.
Oh, yeah. Tell you what, man, you can really tie somebody up with Type 5 Sony tape. It's 1 inch. It's the good stuff.
Oh my.
Well, since that little bit of excitement, Franklin has a presentation to do.
I do? I thought
Well,
it was next
I
week.
think he's completely
Yeah, no,
forgot
that's
that.
next week. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's next week.
Next week.
You need to go on your second take for technical difficulties.
So, I had promised that I would someday do a history of the National Weather Service. So that is what tonight's presentation is about. And I've got my red border on my screen, so I should be sharing. You should just kind of be seeing a blank screen there by now. Okay. So we'll go ahead and go to the next slide. And as I said, this is a presentation about the history of the National Weather Service. So we've got their logo up here. And it is going to be interesting to find out here that the National Weather Service was not always called the National Weather Service. So this is the National Weather Service, a brief history. I would have almost said a brief history in time, but then I might get yelled at from the grave by a famous physicist, and we wouldn't want that. So in the beginning, we had the Weather Bureau of the United States. Gee, can't imagine why they changed that name. The Weather Bureau of the United States was formed in the year 1870. I did not realize that the origins of the National Weather Service actually went back that far. It was created by a joint resolution of Congress and was signed by President Ulysses S. Grant. The mission of the Weather Bureau was to take observations at military stations in the interior, at other points in the states and territories. The Bureau would also give notice to the Great Lakes and seacoast of approaching storms and their force. They would do this mostly by using magnetic telegraphs and marine signals. The Weather Bureau was originally placed under the Secretary of War and the War Department. Congress felt that the military would be the best agency to, quote, secure the greatest promptness, regularity, and accuracy in the required observations, and they thought this would happen due to the military's discipline. The Bureau was assigned to the Army Signal Service and was headed originally by Brigadier General Albert J. Meyer. The first chief meteorologist, according to information that I found, was Cleveland Abbey. He was named the Bureau's first chief meteorologist. He started developing probabilistic forecasts in 1869 and had urged the War Department to start researching weather conditions to provide a scientific basis for weather. What? 2 first chiefs? I found 2 different sources for who was the first chief of the Weather Bureau. The National Weather Service's Wikipedia page cites Cleveland Abb as the Bureau's first chief meteorologist, but the National Weather Service's own webpage says the first Bureau chief was Professor Mark W. Harrington. Now, Abb is listed as the first chief meteorologist and Harrington as the first Bureau chief. I'm not entirely for certain if these are the same position or different positions, because later on in the Wikipedia article, Abb is referred to as the Bureau chief, not chief meteorologist. So I wasn't really able to confirm one way or the other, so maybe there was 2 first. You never know. So after a stint with the War Department in 1890, the Weather Bureau was transferred to the Department of Agriculture. At this time, it started issuing flood warnings, fire weather forecasts, and daily national weather maps under its stewardship. Under the Agriculture Department, the Bureau also started networks to issue tropical cyclone warnings and to exchange weather information with European agencies, and vice versa. Them shared their information with the United States. The very first radiosondes were launched in 1937 in Massachusetts. This caused a prompt switch from mostly getting observations from aircraft to mainly using the radiosondes within 2 years of their first implementation. The Bureau expressly banned the use of the word tornado from being used in any of its weather products. It was thought that doing so would incite panic from the general public. This move was directly contradicted in intention by the high death tolls in past tornado outbreaks. These tolls were so high mainly due to the lack of any advanced warning whatsoever. In 1938, the Bureau began sending out tornado warnings, but only to emergency management, not to the general public.
I mean, what did they call it then if it wasn't a tornado warning?
They didn't
a cyclone warning?
They didn't issue warnings at all for tornadoes.
Wow.
The Bureau was again moved to another department of the federal government in 1940. This time it was moved to the Department of Commerce. On July 2nd, 1950, Bureau Chief Francis W. Reichendelfer lifted the ban on public tornado alerts. In a circular letter that he sent out to many Weather Bureau offices, he said, quote, Weather Bureau employees should avoid statements that can be interpreted as a negation of the Bureau's willingness or ability to make tornado forecasts. However, the Bureau did not issue its first experimental tornado warning until March 1952. This was due to the Weather Bureau being criticized for continuing its policy to refuse to issue public tornado warnings or releasing the United States Air Force Severe Weather Warning Center's tornado forecasts. These were only made available to military personnel until March of '52. And in 1957, radar was first used for the short-term forecast of storms locally and other hydrological events. This radar was a modified version of the radar that the Navy had been using on its aircraft. This became the WSR-57, or the Weather Surveillance Radar 1957. A network of these radars were created across the country through much of the early 60s. Some of these sites were upgraded to a newer WSR-74, which began in 1974. The Weather Bureau became a part of the newly formed Environmental Science Services within the Commerce Department in August of 1966. The ESS was then renamed to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, on October 1st of 1970, which is what it remains named today. At this same time, the Weather Bureau of the United States was officially renamed to its current name, the National Weather Service. Starting in 1988, the older WSR-57 and 74 radars were replaced by the new Doppler-based NEXRAD, or Next Generation Radar System. These new radars are able to improve the detection and therefore warning times for severe storms. NEXRAD radar fully replaced the older systems from 1988 to 1997. And kind of the future is now of NEXRAD radar. Today, we have updates to the NEXRAD radars like dual polarization. This allows the radar beam to travel out from the tower in both a horizontal and vertical pattern. This allows the radar to see the size and shape of particles in the air. This also allows the radar to see debris in the air and to actually, quote unquote, see a tornado, which is pretty cool if you know how to interpret it. As we continue to improve weather radar, the National Weather Service will continue to provide forecasts, watches, and warnings during severe weather and to serve the United States for a second 100 years to 2070 and hopefully beyond. And with that, we would like to thank you from the Jungle Chasers. And that is the end of my brief history of the National Weather Service.
I'm sorry if I missed something here. I just got a double whammy and I'm a little out of it here. Literally a double whammy, and I'm gonna get off here in just a minute. We're saying goodbye to a dear friend and part of our Skywarn family, and I just now got word that he is clinging in his last minutes. K0 RGT, Ron Toss, his wife is one of our lead net controls, has been a part of Skywarn for a long time. Ron's been right there with her. Not been in great health. Has been home on hospice since Monday. I think we missed our opportunity to go say our goodbyes today from the way it sounds. Anyway, and news from Iowa I will share with Steve here in a bit. So while I pull myself together, I'm going to say my 73s, but I did want to ask, did you talk about the first tornado warning? Not
A
be
little
from
bit.
The Weather Service?
I didn't go into detail, but I mentioned when it was issued and kind of the reasoning behind why they hadn't done it before then.
And it did save lives, and that's when things were kind of recalibrated at the upper echelons. We have a great deal of gratitude to put on that meteorologist. So, gentlemen, I'm sorry. I emotionally need to get off here and deal with some things, but I will wish you all blessings. My rant tonight is going to be tears, and I don't want to go there. So I will say my 73, and everyone please take care and hug those closest to them. We just don't know when we're losing them. And have a good night.
You too, Patty.
Bye, Patty.
Hey, dear.
Have a good one.
And I'm going to say that I probably need to go see what's going on. So, news from Iowa doesn't sound good on my part. So, I'm going to say 73, guys.
Okay.
I think we probably ought to go ahead and close down the stream unless y'all want to stay in it for a bit.
No, I don't think. I mean, at this point, we should probably either postpone or.
Yeah, I kind of think this stream's kind of cursed at this point.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's something that we can deal with. And I know Ron's had trouble for a while, but I don't know about the others. So, well, guys, 73, I'll let you say yours, and we'll go ahead and call it a night. So.
No problem. I guess we'll just kind of go in the same turn order that we did at the opening. I don't know Ron very well, but I know Teresa pretty well, and I'm just sorry to hear everything that's happened with him this week. And 73s to everyone, and we'll see you next week.
And I'm, I understand a lot of those different things that come up too. I've had some rough go myself, people around me, friends, family. It's been a rough week for a lot of people. So we'll be looking up, but at this point, we just need our time, and we'll go from there. So I'll say 73. And my name's Rodney and my call sign is K0FZ. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, this is Kieran. I'll say goodbye. I don't know who they are talking about, unfortunately, but I hope everything sort of turns out well, and sorry for anything else that's happened there. So I'll say goodbye for now, and I'll speak to you next time.